I encounter him. And speaking of Terran, we do have the Protoss player Terran. You see how awkward that sounds? Do you hear that? Like, you can't even, as a caster, you can't even say, and the Terran is getting into a really good position here, because no one knows, if they're only listening, if you mean the race or the name. So,
Yep.
yeah, we have him as the, is it yellow, I think? Yeah, yellow Protoss at the 11 o'clock. His buddy is going to be playing purple Terran pieces, Bram, Sintox Bram, at the 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. And here is their opposition: Knights Gaming Agaham, the purple Zerg, pink Zerg, and no, this is yellow.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you there, but the other guy is a little
Green.
bit light greenish, I suppose, whereas the other Protoss Bully is definitely the more yellow Protoss in this game.
More yellow. Yes, I like that. But it really, like, it's got a greenish tint to it, but I don't know. Maybe I'm colorblind and I don't know it yet.
Yeah, this might be the day that you work out that you're actually colorblind. It could be happening.
Oh damn! Now I know why I could not join the military.
Did you want to join the military, really?
No, we had to back in the day when I was 18.
How old are you now?
They disbanded the duty to go into military the year after I took my tests, so I never actually went to the training. But yeah, before then we had to. Every man had to go to the barracks for 2 years, and not have sex for 2 years. That sucks.
And train to be a Marine?
Yep.
Because they come out of the barracks?
Yeah, exactly. But
Okay.
without the power suit, we didn't get any power suits. Damn shame.
But you got a gun.
Yep.
And were you allowed to do drugs? Did you get stim?
No, unfortunately, but they did give us drugs to lower our libido, so that we don't bring whores into the barracks. Yeah, really, this was really done. They gave a chemical into every cup of tea for the breakfast to all those soldiers in training. So yeah, we have an expansion from Agaham. Their opponents playing one base so far. Not really surprising, since neither of them are Zergs. Wondering what's... Oh my god, this probe from Bully is stuck here. Sad probe.
Oh, that poor probe. Oh well. We see a Stargate here by Bully. I was wondering what that pylon was for, and a bit of a hidden position there on the low ground. So the first real tech choice in this game is going to be Bully going for a Stargate. And I have to say, I have about as much knowledge of the 2v2 metagame as I have about the Dota 2 metagame. And that's absolutely nothing.
That's okay. I mean, I never casted 2v2s until I started doing the DSCL Team League. And some of the games are actually pretty fun, and some of the build orders, or strategies rather, are really well thought out. For example, in the opening week of Team League, we had a pair of players that shared control for units, both of them, and they took turns in who is macroing and who is microing, meaning that I think they were Zerg and Terran. So the Zerg wanted to expand fast at the start, so the Terran went for a one-base aggression, a heavy one-base aggression, and he was only focusing on controlling his units, whereas the Zerg player was macroing for both of them. And then when the Zerg player had his expansion secured, they exchanged the roles so that the Terran could expand and take 2 additional bases, and then they just crushed their opposition. It was so very well thought out. We have a Dark Shrine on the way for the Protoss player Terran. This is just... Oh my god, dude, change your name, really.
Yeah, it's a little bit confusing, isn't it? He's going for Dark Templar and Blink at the same time. So he's making a lot of Blink Stalkers, making it look like, okay, I'm not going for DTs, but guess what? This Oracle out of Bully is going to see the Dark Shrine morphing in and sees the Twilight Council, and we'll be able to rack up quite a bit of probe kills here. 5 workers already have been killed. Has to be careful, that Oracle is very fragile, does not want to end up losing that to a few Stalkers. Gets 6 probe kills there. Really good control there by Knights Gaming's Bully. That looked professional.
Yeah, that was really nice. And this Oracle, it's going to scout a little bit, sees the proxy pylon, sees the Marines, and narrowly escapes and saw the tanks. So pretty much, Bully and Agaham know exactly what they should be preparing for. They know a Marine tank army is on the way with DTs, possibly Archons, and Blink Stalkers. Another Oracle, or oh no, it's the same one. It's coming in from the south, and another one from the north. Oh my god, the number of probe kills these two will share in between of them. No missile turrets in the mineral lines, but it looks like Sintox are saying, we have had enough. You have invested heavily into Stargate. You cannot have a large ground army. Let us just go kill you.
That's the plan, and is it gonna work out? There are some siege tanks. They're not in siege, but yet there they go. One of them is sieged up. There are some roaches. There is a void ray, and I think they just need to buy some time because there's so much economic damage. They have a third base, and of course, Team Knights Gaming. I think they're in a pretty okay position as long as they can buy themselves a little bit of time. They need a little bit more time to get that ground army that you were speaking of.
Yeah, and we do see that Agaham is heavily supply blocked right now thanks to those Terran Stalkers. God, that just sounds wrong. That blunk in and killed a couple of overlords, and he's just mass producing roaches, hoping to break through the Stalker tank lines. And meanwhile, Bully is trying to make as many voters as possible, but here we go, Sintox forcing the issue and forcing their opponents to attack and try to break this. Those tanks are still staying alive and those Marines are falling, but I think they are going to defend, actually.
Yeah, I think Knights Gaming just has too much stuff here. The Immortal is still alive. That's going to be very pivotal in dealing with siege tanks, and of course Blink Stalkers very powerful, and they do manage to hold that off. I'm a little bit worried for the Sintox team here. They're already down 2 games, and if they end up losing this team game, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. They will lose 3-0 to Knights Gaming, and look at the harvester counts: 13 harvesters for Terran, and oh my God! Okay, the Oracle just now got a couple more kills and got cleaned up, but 13 probes, 19 SCVs versus 47 drones and 29 probes. That's not good, and right now Sintox, well, their attack failed. They don't have an expansion. They have to play defensively and take an expo, and here we go. We see Bram taking that command center there on the low ground, but Agaham, he has had this expansion up for so much longer. And we even now see Bully taking an expansion here. Wouldn't even be surprised if Agaham took a third right now and maybe go into a hive, or just they basically have 2 options. They can either mass an army or just expand and tech. The problem here is the map. You have these bases. They are pretty defensible. If you look at the ramp, if you look at how very few spaces there are where you can blink in, for example. The only way they can be aggressive efficiently is what they've done from the start, and that is rain fire from above.
Yeah, that's what they've been trying to do. This game is going to be very difficult for Sintox to win at this point. They have no economic advantage. They have no tech. They have nothing that really helps them as much. They have that additional base about to finish up, but I think the advantage that the Knights Gaming team has been on is just going to be way too much. Do we have an army supply tab here that we can look at?
Not exactly, just the general supplies, and we see that Agaham is almost 160 food, 174 his opponent, but that is going to start rising as this second expansion kicks up. And both of those other guys are just around 50 supplies, so not looking good for them. Like I said, they have to be playing defensively. Their early game attack did not work out. And but nice usage of these stalkers by Terran, trying to kill as many probes as possible, but he's getting caught off guard, blinks into the roaches and dies. That was not what you would call an escape blink.
That was really well played, though, by Agam. I'll have to give him that. He positioned his roaches the right way. He knew they were going to try to escape that way and blink back home, but they weren't able to do it. The roaches could just A-move in here right now. There's only 2 or 3 siege tanks here and 4 zealots. That's all our Protoss player has to defend. The Phoenix come in, lift the tanks, And I think this is going to be a really swift, really efficient 3-0 by Knights Gaming.
Yeah, I do think so as well. Moreover, these roaches do have burrow and tunneling claws research, so once they get rid of all the detection, they can just continue fighting without the opponent ever killing them. And there's the GG, and Knights Gaming take the match 3-0 versus Sintox.